it's Christy with CoastalKnitsandPearls.com. I am a Florida knitter and I share my knitting adventures through the Sunshine State. This is my weekly update for the week starting January the 13th. And I'm recording a little bit earlier today because lots of things to do. But it is January the 17th. And I'm gonna jump right in. I think I'm expecting my Freckled Whimsy, maybe Yarnable, can't remember which, shipment today, but the mail hasn't come. So I'm just gonna jump in and get started. You can find me, I'm most active these days on Instagram and at Coastal Knits and Pearls, and then I've been dabbling a lot more into Substack. So if you are on Substack or interested in checking it out, it's coastalknitsandpearls.substack.com. And Facebook is still Christy Knits, and Pinterest is Coastal Knits. All right, so let's get started. So you may recall that my mantra for 2025 is I'm easing into it. I'm enjoying the knitting journey more so than the destination. Last year, I finished a lot of projects, but I started to feel harried and rushed at the end of the year for Christmas, and I just want to enjoy knitting again. So I have not finished anything in 2025 yet, and I am perfectly content with that. It will happen, but it just has not happened yet. So, starting with works in progress, I have my daughter Kate's hurricane blanket. I am almost to row 200 on this, and I am into the second cake. This is Hobbii yarn. It's an acrylic yarn, but it is super soft. It almost feels like a t-shirt yarn to me, and that colorway is called Pink Coral. I have two other blankets for my two other daughters, Audrey and Emmy. Audrey's is River, which is blue and whites, and Emmy's is Orchid, which is purple and whites. I have not started those yet, but I do have yarn for those. Next up are my Christmas Sprinkles socks. These are also for Kate. I am on the leg for both, one a little bit further along than the other. You may recall I messed up her knee-high socks in that same colorway. So I am just knitting her a regular pair of socks. That is Emma's practically perfect sock yarn, and the colorway is Christmas Sprinkles. These are socks for my aunt. This is Freckled Whimsy sock yarn, their Serendipity base. It is called Woodsy, which I don't see that. I must have ripped it off the tag, but the colorway is Woodsy, and this hands down is my new favorite sock yarn. I actually just reached out to her to say I may want to switch to the DK base because I want to do some more DK socks. So I just want to say, like, this yarn is so soft. It's like butter. It never splits or frays or, any of those kinds of things. So I love it. Love, love, love it. And got something going on here. I don't know what that's about. Okay, there we go. I had an extra stitch on there. So this one I am on her foot, as you can see. And the other one, I am still on the cuff. So I restarted this cuff for some reason about 5 or 6 times, and I'm finally getting the hang of it. So those are for my aunt in New York. And then This is a DK vanilla sock. This one's also for my aunt. This is yarn that I won in a giveaway. It's the cuff and the toes are going to be Knitpicks DK Swish. This is the Marina color. And then the main sock color is, it's called Roly Poly, and it's by Fly Design Yarns. So I only have one size 3 circular, 9-inch circular, so I only have one sock. But I'm super close to finishing the foot. Probably just like maybe 5 more rounds, and then I'll be done with the foot, and then I can move on to the toes and maybe then cast on the second sock. Finally, I did start my Florida temperature blanket. Then I hated it and I ripped it out and I started all over again. I don't love where the color changes mid-row, but it's coming along and I'll work it out. I don't want to rip it out again, so I'll fix it so that it's more to my liking. So this is what it looks like. The colors really get blown out on Instagram when I'm trying to show photos of it. So this almost looks gray, but it's actually a sand color. And then we have a pink and a neon coral and then a peacock. So I'm modifying my temperature blanket since Florida has, doesn't really have the temperature swings that most states do or other states do or other areas of the country do. I kind of did it I based it on the last digit of the highest temperature for the day, and that's how I assign the colors. This is an acorn pattern, so it's an acorn blanket pattern from Hobbii, and I also altered I modified the pattern because it has more than 365 rows, and then it has areas where it color changes. I'm still knitting this side, so it color changes in the middle. You can't really see it here, but in some of these rows, 80 stitches will be for one day, and then 20 stitches will be for a completely different day. So, it's not an exact one row for each day pattern. It's because I liked the pattern, the look of the switching of the colors and the meshing of the color. So I'm just modifying it a bit. So I'm modifying the way I do the temperature, and I'm modifying the actual pattern for the temperature blanket. But that is everything I have in progress. So lots of socks and blankets, pretty much it, right? And I don't have any finished objects. I didn't get anything in the mail yet, although I will get it later today. And what have I been reading and watching? I read this week, I finished When We Left Cuba, which is book number 2 by the author of, I can't remember the first book, but really good, really enjoyed it. I lived in Miami for 13 years, so it's all about, Cubans and Fidel Castro, the CIA, all that kind of stuff. So really good. I finished The Library of Lost and Found, which I loved. It was a really good book. Highly recommend it. And that is all I finished this week. I just finished When We Left Cuba, so I haven't gone on to the next book yet, but I think it will be, I am going to reread, because I think I've already read it, Pride and Prejudice. So that is my next read, I think. And you can always check out what's on my bookshelf, what I've read, what I'm planning to read, on my Goodreads account, which is just my name, Christy McCauley. What else? What we're watching? I've been catching up on Dateline episodes. You may remember I am a true crime junkie. So we subscribed to Peacock Plus for another show that we wanted to watch, and they have all the current episodes on there. So I've been catching up with that because I hadn't seen all the current ones. And then my husband and I together are watching Chicago PD. So we started watching that during the pandemic, but I don't think we were streaming it. I think we were just watching it on like live antenna TV, not live, but whatever was on that channel that day is what we watched. So we realized when we went to continue the seasons that we hadn't really watched all the shows and all the seasons. So we kind of went back to season 1, episode 1, and started over. I think we're on season 2, and we're pretty far into it. So anyways, we're catching up on those. We finished Chicago Fire, so at least all the episodes that were available. So we were like, let's try, go back to Chicago PD, and then we'll see if we tackle Chicago Med or not. But anyways, that is all I have for this week. I wish the mail had come before I shot this video so I could share with you my new squishy goodness, but I don't have it. So I will talk with you all next week, and until then, happy knitting.